Nothing changes if you stay the same. That's not an insult, it's a reality check. We say we want more money, more peace, more purpose, more freedom, but we keep waking up to the same habits, the same thoughts, the same circles, the same excuses, and then we wonder why life looks like a run. Growth doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to movement. The truth is, the life you want is on the other side of the version of you that's comfortable. So if you're tired of being stuck, tired of feeling like time is passing you by, try this instead. Nothing changes if you stay the same. I want you to really hear that, because most of us go through life thinking we're moving forward, thinking we're evolving, but deep down, the truth is we're stuck in the same patterns, making the same excuses, and expecting a different outcome. We talk about wanting better, wanting more, wanting freedom, wanting respect, but then we go back to the habits that put us where we are. And that's the problem. Nothing shifts until you're willing to see yourself clearly. Before anything changes, honesty has to show up. Not the kind of honesty you show to the world, not the social media flex on everyone honesty, but the private, quiet kind of honesty that makes you uncomfortable. It's the honesty that stares back at you in the mirror when nobody else is around. And it's this honesty that will determine whether you stay stuck or start building the life you've been dreaming about. Ask yourself real questions. Ask yourself what habits are keeping you here. Be ruthless with it. What are the patterns in your life that repeat over and over? What are you avoiding because it hurts too much to face? And here's the hardest one: who actually benefits from you staying the same? Sometimes staying stuck is convenient for the people around you, and recognizing that is painful, but it's necessary. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they keep negotiating with their weaknesses. They excuse the things that hold them back. They tell themselves that motivation is enough, that good intentions will carry them forward, but motivation is temporary. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. But consistency, that's where changed lives. University College London did a study and found that it takes on average 66 days to form a new habit. 66 days of showing up, 66 days of refusing to give yourself an out, 66 days of proving to yourself that your life can look different if you're willing to commit. That's not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not the stuff you post online for likes, but it's real work. It's the work that separates dreams from reality. Real growth starts the moment you stop blaming circumstances and start looking at yourself. The moment you admit, I'm the problem right now, that's the turning point. And let me be clear, this isn't shame. This isn't self-hate. This is power, because when you own your flaws, when you see the ways you've held yourself back, you gain control, you gain clarity. You can't fix what you're unwilling to see. You can't build something new on top of illusions. Think about the people who've made it against the odds. The ones who started with nothing, the ones who were told they'd never make it. What set them apart wasn't talent, it wasn't luck. It was the willingness to face the truth about themselves, to recognize the weak spots in their character, the poor choices they made, and then to take deliberate steps to change them. You see, life doesn't wait for anyone. Life doesn't care if you're ready, but it will reward those who refuse to settle for mediocrity, those who refuse to let comfort keep them in the same place. And I want you to see something important. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face more times than you can count. But the difference between staying the same and growing is how you respond. When you make a mistake, don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Face it, study it. Learn from it. Let it teach you. Because mistakes aren't the end. They're the instructions for the next level. Consistency is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Every time you show up for yourself, every time you resist the temptation to stay in comfort, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving that you matter. You're proving that your dreams are worth the discomfort, worth the struggle, worth the work. And here's the truth. The discomfort never goes away completely. Growth always asks for more than what you feel like giving. But if you give it anyway, if you show up anyway, you'll see results that no one can take from you. There's a story about a man who worked at the same job for years every day. He complained about how little he was making, how unfair life was, how he deserved more. But he never looked at his own habits, never examined his daily routine, never asked the hard questions about what was keeping him stuck. One day, a friend asked him a simple question, what are you doing differently than you were 10 years ago? And he didn't have an answer. That's when it hit him. Nothing had changed because he hadn't changed. He realized he had to take responsibility. He started reading, learning new skills, networking, taking risks. Slowly, deliberately, he changed. And as he changed, everything around him started to change too. That's how life works. The inside changes first and the outside follows. You might be thinking, I don't have time, I'm too busy, I've got responsibilities, and I get it, life is demanding. But consider this, what you're doing now is what's building your future. If you stay the same, your future will look like your present, only older. You have to make space for honesty, reflection, and disciplined action in your life. You have to be willing to look at the parts of yourself you've ignored, to confront your fears, to address the habits that are keeping you from moving forward. Because nothing changes if you stay the same. And the moment you decide to be honest with yourself, something shifts. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start noticing patterns you can break. You start understanding your own power, your own potential. You begin to move with purpose, not with distraction. You start creating a life that's intentional, not accidental. So when you leave here, remember this: stop lying to yourself. Stop negotiating with the things that hold you back. Face yourself. Audit your habits. Examine your choices. Admit where you've been wrong. Commit to consistency, even when it's uncomfortable. Let accountability be your guide. And know that when you do this, growth isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Big dreams don't collapse, small routines do. That's the truth. You can have the vision, the ambition, the desire to build something legendary, but if your daily habits don't reflect that vision, it's never going to manifest. Most people think success is about luck, about waiting for the perfect opportunity, about the right timing, but the reality is it's built in the everyday grind, in the hours no one notices, in the choices you make when no one is watching. A life of impact, a life of freedom, a life of fulfillment, it doesn't appear overnight. It's crafted in the ordinary moments. You don't need a miracle to change your life. You need a schedule that makes sense. You need to understand the power of your time, the value of your energy, the way every decision, every minute, every habit compounds over months and years. Look at your day. I mean, really look at it. Who gets your best hours? Who do you spend the most time with? What pulls at your energy and leaves you drained? Where does your time actually go? These are the questions that matter. Because if your day isn't designed to serve your vision, it's serving someone else's. Most people want success, but they live like it's optional. They want results, but they spend their hours scrolling through someone else's life, living through their highlights, while their own potential gets stolen by distractions. They say they want more money, more peace, more freedom, but their actions say something different. Real change doesn't wait for the perfect motivation. It's built in discipline, in consistency, in showing up even when it's uncomfortable. Real change starts when you wake up earlier than usual, when you move your body before the world demands your attention, when you read or learn instead of scrolling endlessly, when you invest in yourself even before you see the results. It's in these small, deliberate actions that momentum begins to build. You may not see the results today, tomorrow, or even next month, but the truth is the compound effect is real. Every minute you invest in growth, every habit you refine, every choice to put yourself first in your own life, it all adds up. Harvard research backs this up. People who set specific daily goals are far more likely to achieve long-term success than those who rely solely on inspiration. Inspiration is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Discipline doesn't wait for motivation. It creates it. You might feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated, but if you stick to the routine, if you respect your own process, the results will come. Your daily habits are the blueprint for the life you want. Ignore them, and your dreams will stay dreams. Respect them, and your dreams will become inevitable. Think about it. Every day is a choice. You choose how to spend your energy. You choose where to put your focus. You choose the narrative you live in. If you waste your mornings with aimless scrolling, if you let negativity drain your afternoons, if you ignore your own growth, nothing changes. But if you take control, if you design your day like it matters, everything begins to shift. Because change isn't an event, it's a process. Change isn't sudden, it's deliberate. Change happens one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one action at a time. There's a story I want you to imagine. A young person wakes up every day at noon. By the time they start, half the day is gone. They scroll through social media, they react to notifications, they let the world tell them what's urgent instead of setting their own priorities. Fast forward a year and they wonder why nothing changed. The opportunities passed them by. The skills they could have developed never materialized. The habits they didn't form became obstacles. Now, imagine another person wakes up at 5 a.m., moves their body, reads, plans their day, and takes the first hours for themselves and their growth. That person is already ahead because they're compounding their time, their energy, their focus. The small routines repeated daily create extraordinary outcomes. Time is neutral, but it's unforgiving. The way you spend your hours today determines your life tomorrow. You can't cheat the process. You can't hope for success and ignore your schedule. If you want financial freedom, you have to invest time in skill building. If you want peace, you have to invest time in reflection and mental clarity. If you want impact, you have to invest time in learning and connecting and showing up consistently. Big dreams are not collapsed by circumstances. They're collapsed by small, unintentional routines that sabotage the vision. The people who are living the life you want are not doing anything extraordinary every day. They're just intentional. They've mastered the art of small choices. They've learned to wake up when it's uncomfortable. They've learned to put their energy where it counts, and that's why their years look different than yours. Because the days add up, change the day, and the days change the years. The years create a legacy. The years create freedom. The years create impact. Here's the challenge. Look at your day right now. Be honest. Are you spending your best hours feeding your vision or feeding someone else's? Are you investing in yourself or just reacting to the world? Are you creating habits that build momentum or habits that keep you stuck in the same place? The truth is, your life is already a reflection of your daily routine. If nothing in your day changes, nothing in your life changes. But if you make intentional changes, even small ones, the ripple effect is unstoppable. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. You don't need the perfect moment. You need the right routine. You don't need a miracle. You need consistency. Start today. Wake up earlier than you want to. Move your body. Learn something new. Protect your energy. Plan your time. Be intentional with your hours. Respect the smallest actions because those are the ones that build empires. When you do this, the world starts to notice. Opportunities begin to align. Momentum grows. Confidence builds. You start attracting people, resources, and energy that match your new level. And even when results don't appear immediately, you'll know deep down that you're growing because growth is felt in the effort, in the discipline, in the consistency. Remember this, your life is a mirror of your daily routine. Big dreams don't collapse under weight. They collapse under neglect. Don't wait for a miracle. Don't wait for motivation. Build your day like it matters because the day matters. The days add up, and before you know it, the years have changed. Your life has changed. And the small routines you honored in silence have done more for you than anyone else could. You don't grow in environments that tolerate your limits. That's the truth most people don't want to hear, but it's the reality that separates the ones who rise from the ones who stay stuck. You can have all the ambition, all the plans, all the dreams in the world, but if the space you occupy, the people you're around, the energy you're exposed to every day isn't designed for growth, nothing will change. The world doesn't adjust for your comfort, it adjusts for your courage to evolve. And growth, real growth, doesn't wait for permission or for conditions to be perfect. It demands that you take a hard look at the environment you're living in right now. Think about your daily life, the same conversations, the same mindsets, the same complaints that repeat like a broken record, the same distractions that steal your time and energy. And then you wonder why your life hasn't changed, why your dreams feel so far away, why you're still fighting the same battles over and over. That's not loyalty, that's stagnation. Being comfortable in a space that doesn't challenge you, that doesn't push you to be better, that doesn't hold you accountable is not wisdom. It's defeat. You cannot expect a different outcome while staying in the same environment. Studies in behavioral psychology show that your environment can influence 45% of your daily decisions. 45%. That means almost half of the choices you make, the actions you take, the energy you give are shaped by the people, the spaces, and the routines around you. If the environment isn't aligned with your vision, no amount of talk, no amount of hope, no amount of desire is going to override it. You might think you're committed, but your environment will quietly sabotage you every single day. That's why the people you spend the most time with matter more than the words you speak about what you want. If your circle doubts, criticizes, distracts, or resists change, it's not loyalty, it's a leash. And the leash keeps you tied to where you've always been. Sometimes growth looks like distance. It looks like leaving conversations half-finished, relationships that no longer serve your path, and connections that drain your energy more than they feed your vision. Sometimes growth looks like less explaining, less access, less tolerance for nonsense. And let me be clear, it's not about being better than anyone else. It's not about superiority. It's about being serious with yourself, about honoring your potential, about protecting the life you're trying to build. You cannot build a house with cracked walls. And you cannot build a legacy in a space that tolerates weakness. Imagine a plant placed in poor soil in a dark corner, surrounded by weeds, cannot grow to its full potential. It will survive, maybe even thrive for a short while, but it will never reach the height it was meant to. The soil, the sunlight, the water, the space around it, these are non-negotiable. The same is true for you. Your mind, your heart, your talent, your ambition, they require fertile ground. They require an environment that challenges you, elevates you, and supports the version of you that's still emerging. If the soil around you is toxic, if the conversations you participate in are repetitive and small-minded, if the energy you absorb daily is negative or stagnant, you will never bloom the way you're capable of. Protect your vision like it's already real. Speak to yourself in a way that aligns with the person you're becoming. Step into spaces that encourage growth. Surround yourself with people who raise the bar, who hold you accountable, who challenge your limits, and who see your potential even when you doubt it. You don't have to cut everyone out of your life, but you do have to make choices about who gets your time, your energy, and your trust. Every hour spent in a space that doesn't honor your ambitions, an hour spent feeding mediocrity. And mediocrity is silent, it creeps in, disguising itself as comfort, as loyalty, as familiarity, but it slowly erodes the life you're meant to live. Distance can be uncomfortable, yes. It can feel lonely. It can stir doubt and guilt. But discomfort is the first sign that growth is happening. If you're comfortable all the time, you're not evolving, you're existing. Growth requires courage. It requires boundaries. It requires the willingness to make decisions that other people won't understand. The people who try to drag you back, the friends who criticize your ambition, the relationships that demand you stay the same, they are testing you. And the answer to that test is not compromise, it's commitment to your vision. Look at the people who are living at a level you aspire to. They didn't just get lucky, they didn't just work hard, they were intentional about their environment. They carefully chose who they allowed into their lives, what spaces they occupied, and what energy they consumed daily. They understood that growth is contagious, that success rubs off when it's nurtured, and that the wrong environment, no matter how comfortable, will always hold you back. You can be the hardest worker in the room, but if the room isn't designed for growth, the work only takes you so far. Change the room, change the circle, change the energy, and your trajectory will shift faster than you realize. Your environment will either elevate you or downgrade you. There is no in between. If you want to move forward, you have to be ruthless in protecting your vision. That doesn't mean you discard love or history or loyalty. It means you prioritize what's necessary to reach your full potential. The people, places, and habits that don't serve the bigger version of you, they cannot stay. Sometimes protecting your vision means making choices that feel lonely. Sometimes it means saying no to comfort. Sometimes it means creating boundaries that other people don't understand. And that's okay. Because growth doesn't come from being understood, it comes from being disciplined. Remember, your environment is your amplifier. It can multiply your efforts, your talent, and your impact, or it can drown it out. Choose carefully who you spend your time with, what spaces you occupy, and what energy you allow into your life. Protect your vision like it's already real, because if you don't, the world will dilute it, distract you, and derail your potential before you even realize it. Your environment is not just the backdrop of your life, it's the foundation. And if the foundation isn't strong, nothing you build will stand. You have to understand that real change lives in the spaces where nobody is watching. That's where the work really happens. People see the results, they see the shine, they see the success, and they think it came easy, like it fell from the sky. But they don't see the mornings you dragged yourself out of bed before sunrise. They don't see the nights you said no to distractions, the nights you refused to quit when your body was tired and your mind was exhausted. They don't see the reps you put in over and over when nobody clapped, when nobody celebrated, when nobody believed. That's where progress is built. That's where transformation happens. In silence, in discipline. In consistency that nobody notices until the world has no choice but to notice you. Consistency and silence builds confidence in public. There's a quiet power in showing up every day and putting in the work when no one cares, when it feels like it doesn't matter. The grind nobody claps for, the reps nobody sees, the small choices you make every day, they are the difference between dreams and reality. You can't fake it. You can't wait for motivation to show up. Motivation is temporary, it's fleeting. Some days it will lift you, some days it will disappear. But discipline is permanent. Discipline doesn't ask for applause. Discipline doesn't look for validation. Discipline shows up even when you're tired, even when you feel like quitting, even when nobody believes in you. That's where growth is hidden. That's where the results are born. Most overnight successes are backed by years of quiet work, by years of sacrifice, by years of showing up when it was inconvenient. Athletes don't just perform in front of a stadium. They train when the stadium is empty. They push their bodies beyond what feels comfortable, running drills and perfecting skills when no one is watching, when no one is keeping score. Entrepreneurs don't just succeed when investors notice. They study when nobody believes in them. They work late nights and early mornings. They research. They test, they fail, and they fail again. Leaders don't just shine in front of crowds. They prepare when nobody is listening. They read, they strategize, they plan, they make tough decisions in private so that when the world demands excellence, they're ready. If you only work when you're motivated, you'll stay right where you are. You'll go in circles. You'll repeat the same mistakes. You'll wait for feelings to carry you, but feelings are unreliable. Commitment is constant. Commitment doesn't care how tired you are, how busy you are, or how discouraged you feel. Commitment is what moves you forward on days that feel impossible. And when you commit to the process, when you honor the unseen work, when you trust the grind, progress begins to accumulate, and it accumulates quietly, slowly, steadily, and visibly until one day the results appear. Undeniable proof that the work was never wasted. There's a lesson in patience. There's a lesson in faith. There's a lesson in doing the work before the applause, before the recognition, before the world even knows your name. Because if you chase recognition first, you will never last. If you chase validation, you will always feel small. But if you chase the craft, the skill, the process, the discipline itself, the world eventually has to pay attention. Consistency is invisible at first, but it becomes unstoppable over time. That's the power of showing up when nobody is watching. Consider the athlete who starts running at 5 a.m. in the dark alone on the track. No one is watching. No one will know unless they see the medal later. Consider the musician practicing scales at midnight, fingers sore, voice tired hours before the stage lights shine. Consider the writer who types and types while the world sleeps, drafts after drafts, revisions after revisions. In each of these examples, the public sees the result, but they don't see the effort that made it possible. And that effort, that silent, consistent work is the only reason success is sustainable. The truth is, life rewards preparation. Life rewards the ones who are willing to do the work when it's uncomfortable, when it's inconvenient, when it feels like nobody cares. There is power in being relentless in private. There is value in sacrifice without recognition. There is strength and discipline without applause. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who wait for the stage. They are the ones who create their own stage by showing up every day, even when the odds are against them. Think about your own life. Think about the dreams you have, the goals you've set, the impact you want to make. Are you willing to put in the work that nobody sees? Are you willing to endure the quiet grind, the repetitive effort, the monotony of showing up consistently? Or are you waiting for conditions to be perfect, for inspiration to hit, for someone else to validate your effort? Because the truth is, success doesn't wait. It doesn't hand out permission slips. It comes to the person who is ready, and being ready means putting in the work every day, whether the world notices or not. The nights you stay up refining your craft, the mornings you rise when your body begs for rest, the sacrifices you make while others indulge, the discipline you practice while others procrastinate, all of that builds an invisible foundation that holds up when opportunity arrives. You cannot fake this work. You cannot shortcut this process. You cannot expect to receive what you haven't built in silence. Progress doesn't announce itself, it accumulates. And when the world finally takes notice, it's because you've been preparing quietly, relentlessly, persistently for far longer than anyone realizes. So understand this, the grind nobody sees is the grind that counts. The unseen effort, the private discipline, the consistent action, all of it is what transforms dreams into reality. There is no magic. There is no shortcut. There is no applause waiting at the start. The start is for the work. The start is for the discipline. The start is for the consistency that nobody witnesses. And if you commit to that, if you embrace that, if you honor that, you will see results that last, not temporary wins, not hollow victories, but lasting, undeniable, life-changing transformation. Pain is unavoidable. There's no escaping it. Life will hit you. It will test you. It will knock you down, challenge your faith, push your patience, and make you question whether it's all worth it. Everyone experiences struggle, some in ways you can see, some quietly, in ways that nobody notices. But here's the truth. Suffering without direction is optional. Pain is inevitable. Misery is a choice. You can endure pain and let it crush you, or you can endure pain and let it fuel. That choice, that perspective, is what separates the ones who rise from the ones who remain stuck. You have to understand there are two types of pain. There's the pain of discipline and there's the pain of regret. One will build you, one will haunt you. The pain of discipline is uncomfortable. It asks you to do things you don't want to do. It asks you to rise before the sun, to say no to distractions, to confront weaknesses, to push your body, your mind, and your spirit beyond what feels safe. It asks you to invest when nobody sees, to work when nobody cares, to keep going when it feels easier to quit. And yes, it hurts, but that hurt is productive. That hurt shapes you. That hurt molds your character. That hurt prepares you for opportunities, for success, for the life you dream about. The pain of regret is different. That pain lingers. It doesn't go away. It's the weight of what could have been. It's the I should have and I could have that replay in your mind every day. It's knowing you had the chance to push, to grow, to evolve, to make a change, but you chose comfort over courage. That pain doesn't teach you anything except what you already lost. One builds you, the other haunts you. And every day you delay, every time you let fear, doubt, or hesitation win, you're choosing which pain you're going to carry. Every struggle you've been through carries information. Every setback has instruction. If you pay attention, the experiences that hurt the most also contain the greatest lessons. When life knocks you down, it's not random, it's a teacher. When doors close, it's not to punish you, it's to redirect you. When you fail, it's not the end, it's the blueprint for your next move. The key is to look beyond the surface, to extract the message hidden in the difficulty, and to use it as fuel to push further than you ever thought you could go. Pain without reflection is wasted. Pain with reflection becomes power. And here's the part most people miss. The pain becomes meaningful when it's connected to purpose. When you attach your effort to something bigger than ego, bigger than status, bigger than temporary satisfaction, everything changes. Family, freedom, impact, legacy. When your pain serves a higher cause, when your struggle contributes to something meaningful, quitting stops being an option. You stop betraying yourself. You stop settling for small victories. You start showing up day after day, even when it hurts, even when nobody else believes, even when the road feels impossible. Psychological studies confirm what the wise have known for generations. People driven by purpose are more resilient. They recover faster from failure. They stay committed longer. They face setbacks without losing their way. They don't quit because the stakes are bigger than comfort. Purpose gives pain meaning. It transforms suffering from a burden into a tool. It turns struggle into fuel. It gives clarity to effort. It gives direction to action. And when pain is aligned with purpose, it no longer feels random or cruel. It feels like training. It feels like preparation. It feels like building something that matters. Think about every person who has inspired you. Every leader, innovator, every creator who overcame the odds. None of them escaped pain. All of them endured. But what made them unstoppable wasn't that life was easy. It was that they had a reason that mattered more than the discomfort. They carried the weight of their vision in their bones. They attached meaning to struggle. They refused to quit because quitting would betray everything they were building. And that's what you have to do. Attach your struggle to something eternal. Make your effort count for something larger than your own comfort or validation. Your purpose becomes a compass in the storm. When everything feels chaotic, when life seems unfair, when your strength is tested, purpose gives you a reason to rise. Purpose gives clarity to choice. Purpose makes your labor worthwhile. And the more connected you are to that purpose, the less you fear the pain, because the pain becomes the path. The late nights, the sacrifices, the failures, they're all building blocks, shaping you into the person capable of achieving the vision only you can see. There is a freedom in understanding this. When you align pain with purpose, life becomes less random. Challenges are no longer obstacles, they are opportunities. Struggles are no longer punishments, they are lessons. Every setback is a signal, every difficulty is a direction, and every hardship is a chance to move closer to what you were meant to achieve. You start to see that your journey is intentional, your life is not an accident. Your struggles are the price of becoming the person you are destined to be. And let me tell you something about persistence. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, it's not celebrated in the moment, but every step you take, every hour you invest, every decision to endure when it hurts compounds over time. The accumulation of disciplined effort guided by purpose becomes unstoppable. It is in those invisible moments of struggle and the quiet work of aligning pain with meaning that greatness is forged. And when the world finally sees the results, it's undeniable that nothing came by chance. Every trial, every sacrifice, every ounce of pain contributed to the outcome. So I want you to realize that pain is inevitable. The choice is what you do with it. You can carry it blindly and let it destroy you, or you can carry it intentionally and let it elevate you. Connect your effort to what is larger than yourself. Let every setback, every failure, every uncomfortable moment fuel the fire inside. Anchor your work to family, to freedom, to impact, to legacy, and the struggles that once felt meaningless will now become the steps that lift you higher than you ever imagined. Purpose turns pain into power, struggle into strategy, sacrifice into strength. And the truth is, when you align your pain with purpose, you stop quitting on yourself, you stop negotiating with limits, you stop allowing fear and doubt to dictate your path, you begin to endure, to persevere, to build, and to rise. The road will still be hard, the nights will still be long, the challenges will still come. But now every hardship has meaning, every effort has direction, and every day becomes another step toward the life you were born to create. Nothing changes if you stay the same, but everything can change if you decide differently today. Not next year, not when it feels right, not when conditions are perfect. Now, audit yourself, fix the routine, upgrade.